Salute is a program for and about men and women who have served our country. Our program includes news about the laws that affect veterans, information on benefits and services, and news from veterans organizations. And now, our host, Bob Peters.
Hello and welcome to Salute. Today, my guest is very special because this gentleman has been in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Master Chief Ed DeBoer, I want to welcome you to the show, sir. Thank you for coming. Bob. And would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? When did you first go into the Navy and what attracted you to the Navy?
Well, three brothers being in the service, family service. I was born in 1926 and traveled over New Jersey and enlisted in the Navy in Paterson, New Jersey, after I understand my brother got hurt pretty bad in the casinos over in Italy. The oldest brother, Gary, kind of teed me off a little bit, and I wanted to get a bit, and even to score up a little bit. Mm. However, from the Paterson, New Jersey, I was shipped to Sampson, New York for training boot camp. Out of Sampson, I wound up in Davisville, Rhode Island 2 weeks later because I was in construction.
Yeah, so you were in the Seabees, right?
In the Seabees, yes, sir, and equipment operator. And when I got to Davisville, they wasn't ready for our group. And in 2 weeks' time, I was home on a 30-day leave. And I had the cops knocking on the door and everybody else because of this. What's he doing home in 2 weeks? Yeah. And it was a proven fact. 2 weeks, I was home on a 30-day leave. And the only way I can get out of the base in Camp Endicott, Davisville, was with that CB patch on my shoulder, my uniform. If you didn't have that on your shoulder, you couldn't get on the troop train to take you to New York. And that was that. I went back to Davisville, Camp Endicott after the leave, and career Navy for 30 years, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, as you said.
Yeah, you're a rare breed there, Ed.
Yeah.
You know?
And, of course, I had duty in Okinawa during World War II with the 68th Battalion. April 1st plus 1, that means April 1st, Easter Sunday. 5 days after that is when I landed on White Beach and went over to the Yotan Air Base. And that was my job and our job to maintain that base and protect it. And there were no Japs around. It's just, they just seemed, nobody seemed to want them around there. They weren't there. Yeah. Until the Marines went inland, then all heck broke loose. And of course, we had the kamikazes, Divine Wind coming in to the airstrip, trying to get our Marine fighter pilots, Navy pilots that we there fueling. And that was our big job over there. I got a little bit of shrapnel from a kamikaze aircraft bomb, which put me in the hospital for 1 day only. Of course, I got a Purple Heart out of that.
Yeah, you also you are a well-decorated sailor.
3 wars. It goes in, and then
Vietnam Service Medal, North Korea Accommodation, Navy Accommodation, Good Conduct twice. The list goes on and on and on, but it's only a half-hour show, so I can't talk about all of them. But you've certainly served your country well.
1-5, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt died while I was in there in Okinawa on April 12th of 45, if you remember, our president.
I don't remember. I know of him, but I don't remember.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, yeah, he died while I was there. Yeah. And did a lot of building of mess halls, et cetera, and whatnot. Service centers, barracks, mess halls for the troops. Where they could sit down on a dry chair and eat chow, and et cetera, and whatnot. Of course, the Seabees always had good chow. And that was about it in Okinawa. And I left there and went to Guam. From Guam, I went to California, Port Hueneme, California, to Norfolk, Virginia, Naval Operating Base, because they were putting all the Seabees out of commission. They only had 2 battalions left. And I was in a Naval Operating Base for about 3 or 4 months when they called me up to administration that I was going to CB 105. And I said, no, I'm not. He said, what do you mean you're not? I said, I'm not going to CB-105. I'm
what
thinking
is-
CB-105 was an aircraft carrier.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
See, my brother was on a CVE. That's the aircraft carrier. It's an escort. And I'm thinking I'm going on an aircraft carrier. And the yeoman finally squared me away. He said, no, you're going back to CBs.
Oh,
To 105th CBs, Amphibious Construction Battalion 1. And that's what we came into after at the 105th CBs. It turned into ACB-1, causeways and pontoons, ship-to-shore fueling, military, marine training, Camp Pendleton, and so forth. And 47 to Washington, D.C., shore duty. I had the ceremonial guard over there for 1 year.
Oh, yeah?
And the ceremonial guard over there for 1 year. That's how sharp I was as a junior chief.
Yeah. It's still pretty sharp.
Sharp. I was pretty sharp there, and they wanted me, and I did a good job, I guess, for a year. And I left them and went into the public works area of D.C., Anacostia, as a chief of the transportation. We had buses running the main Navy, et cetera, taking sails and the waves to their Pacific workplaces every day. And in the meantime, I hear they want to get a bunch of beds set up in the Pentagon. And I'm about to run out of time. I'm getting out of the Navy.
Yeah, it's near the end of World War II.
Yeah, and we're in D.C. Now we're in the Pentagon. They're setting up bunks. It's getting close to 1950. Now I say, hey, wait, we're going to Korea.
Yeah.
As if I get out now, and next month we go to Korea, they'll call me right back in. I might as well re-enlist. So I re-enlisted again. And sure enough, we went to Korea. So I gave up my shore duty, went back to California, and picked up the ACB-2 in California, 49, 103rd in Japan, 103rd CBs in Japan. And from Japan, we went in 50, I guess it was, we went to Incheon. And that was one heck of a road to hoe over there because of the 30-foot high tides they had.
Wow.
And the rapid current of it going in and out. We had to set up our causeways and pontoons so we can get the first wave of Marines in there. And this is under heavy fire at the same time. Finally got that done, got them in there. We really got a good accommodation out of that. And praises for McCarthy. The only thing wrong with the Seabees is there just ain't enough of them. That's all he had to say about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that said before.
Yeah, and after I went and took care of an airport, did a little work over there. And where did I go? Punghai, yeah. They had these K-trees, K1, 2, 3, and 4 airports, different airports that each unit was going to. And I picked out K-tree and Pohang to maintain that airstrip and keep it going and fueling. And we got out of there. I went back to Little Creek, Virginia. Little Creek, Virginia, ACB-2, the fuel systems again. Only we started something new, a bottom blade fuel system. Instead of have rubbing hoses, we had pipe. Now we're laying bottom blade fuel system. It's all pipe. Tank can run across it. They can strafe it all they want. They're not going to put holes in it. Vice the float system, which I'll talk about after. They can shoot holes in the float system. Tank run over, it'll crimp it. They're not going to pump no fuel, aviation has. And this was really a trick. We lay a mile of pipe in 4 hours.
Wow.
That's the only time. Lay a mile of pipe in 4 hours.
Yeah.
You had a makeup rail. We made up 120 foot of pipe, rolled it to the launching rail. And LCVP would pull it back, LCT would pull it back till he get the word stop, and he'd drop it right there. And it would stop right on the end of the track, the launching rail. Another set of 120 foot of roll on there. Buttress wrenches, they're like rats. They weigh about 75 pounds apiece. One guy on one end, one on the other. Tighten them up, launch them till we got a mile out. That's starting from scratch, bringing the dozer, the 2 trailers off the LCU that's going to pull the pipe, level the area, get it set up for the making ramp and the launching ramp. And all that's how quick we went with that stuff. And we finished with all that and went back to MCB-11 in Okinawa. And there we did a lot of training. In about 63, I guess. And I happened to be the officer today, and I was in the Quonset shaving. I was a senior chief at that time. No, master chief already. And I was in the Quonset shaving, the officer today, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then Kennedy was shot. And I turned the radio up, and I hurried up and got done shaving, washed up. Then Kennedy's dead. And he was assassinated in 63 in Texas.
Yeah, right.
And I happened to be the officer today. That meant saddle up. Get a 87, 82 gear, that means your packs and rifles and everything, your weapons, and be ready to move out. Because no telling what was going to happen.
Yeah, and you didn't know what was going on.
Before he got Johnson swirled in and whatnot. And after that, we went to Republic of Vietnam. And I went with MCB-1 into ACB-1. And to MCB-9. Hit Red Beach, White Beach, I'm sorry, China Beach in Vietnam. That's just outside of the main city of Da Nang. Most of the people know where China Beach was. They did a lot of R&R there after a while when the war settled down there. And we were going in to take care of some of the airstrips and main thing is get the beach set up with the Beach Master Unit 1 and bring the Marines in. And we was pretty much the first and second wave of troops going in to bring the LCVPs in, the boats, et cetera, and whatnot. And we, of course, we had surf cranes attached to bulldozers. What I'm talking about, a surf crane. If an LCVP, a Higgins boat, would broach on a beach sideways and he couldn't get off, the surf crane would back up against him, drop his hook, pick that boat up, bring him out for repairs, and then back him in deep water and set him down and let him get on his way. So that was a tricky operation, but that worked out good. It was a surf crane hooked to a bulldozer. And it was really good. And then I went to NSA, Naval Support Activity, Public Works, many local, all over the area, Chu Lai, all over Vietnam with these detachments. From Benoit to Ben Tui, Chu Lai. In fact, I had people up in Khe Sanh. Now, that was a bad place to be because of the fact the roads were so muddy they couldn't get their vehicles in and out of there hardly.
Yeah.
And once they flew up 2 portable rock crushers, and I sent 8 of my men up there, Chief Boges and 8 men to do the rock crushing for the Marines so they could build them roads up.
Yeah.
And no more mud. And make story short, it worked out good until 3 o'clock that afternoon. A rocket come in and I lost 3 of my men. Boom, just like that.
Wow.
And that happened every 3 o'clock. Then they come, incoming. I make the story short, we got out of there. They stayed there still crushing rocks after they repaired the units and whatnot. I went back to Da Nang and I felt sorry for them bums. They ain't had a Coke or a beer in a long time. And I got a guy in the Ambas Post 1992, I'll tell you the same story. He was there when he seen my chopper come in with these 2 pallets hanging down with these big red trash cans. And they were full of beer, a pallet of beer, which is 90 cases, and a pallet of soda, mixed soda, Cokes, Pepsi, you name it, all in ice down. Down in Khe Sanh.
You became a very popular man
yes,
at that
I did.
time. Yes,
I sure did. But anyway, I was sitting in the spillway on Highway 44. I don't know if you know where that's at. The best hot dogs and hamburgers in town.
Hey.
Off of Radio Road, make a right. It's in the spillway, they call it, across that little bridge on the right side. I was sitting there talking about Khe Sanh, all I was doing over, and how I sent beer up to them guys. This guy jumped off the chair and he come in. Can I give you a hug and a kiss? Who the hell are you? A Marine, Steve Brenner, Marine Corps. Him and his wife are always at the AMVETS.
Yeah.
You know him if you see him, Steve Brenner. And what a small world.
Yeah.
What a small world that was, yeah. And then, of course, after all that went through, I said, well, I'm getting sick and tired. I'm going to get out. I retired, right in country. And went to work for a RMK BRJ, until I closed them out. They were there building highways and bridges, et cetera, like we were doing. It was civilian contractors. Brown and Root, Knutson, Brown, Root, and Johnson.
This is near the end of the war?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The war was over. No,
The war was
near the
over
end of the
then.
war, yeah. 75 we got out of there.
Yeah, right.
So all over the place, we've done a lot of work. And I closed them out and went to PA&E. When I got with PA&E, I was a supervisor and advisory for the Navy, Vietnamese Navy Public Works. They were like Seabees. And when we got there, they had 3 or 4 bulldozers weren't going, running, clutches slipping, this and that, and they just were deadlined. So I was there approximately 3 weeks, and I had all them dozers up and running and all their vehicles running. And got permission for all new rubber for the vehicles and et cetera, new clutches and so forth for the equipment. They just weren't getting supplies. We got that through Saigon for the Vietnamese Navy. And this come about where I got a big commendation. I had it on paper. I don't know what to do with it. It was a service medal,
well, I have it
a
over
letter of
there. I'm
appreciation.
sorry.
That's all right. It's from the Chief of Naval Operations of Vietnam and the captain in charge of the fleet that was there in Deepwater Pier area. So it was really something when I got that medal. I kind of had a tear in my eye.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And I went to Duluth. I left them and went to DCI, Duluth International out of Chicago. How much time we got?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh, okay.
I got a little bird that comes and whispers in my
I
ear
gotta
when
slow
we're
up
running
a
out
little
of
bit.
time.
Anyway, I said
No, take your time.
I went with Duluth International out of Saigon as a bridge engineer.
Yeah.
I had my own chopper, which was, I can't tell you, well, there was a top secret, silver type, Air America, let's put it that way. And backup, any place I go, that was my chopper to take me, and as a bridge engineer, resident engineer for the Department of Defense. And I had 8 bridges going at one time from Da Nang, which was a small bridge, outside of Saigon down to Mito, and then around that area on the way back from Mito. A 2-span bridge was the biggest one we was putting in. The other ones were all single-span, abutment to abutment, one span. The abutment is where the approach is, and the abutment is when you go off it. So that's a 1-span. A 2-span, you drive piles in the middle, set it down, then you got another.
Yeah, another
Yeah. So.
You had a couple pictures you wanted to show us.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to that commendation about the fuel ship to shore fueling.
Okay, I'm all ears.
I'd like to go on that one. Who would I show it to? This one here, it's the float system they had in Chu Line. There was a ship anchored out in the bay, just outside it, away from these hoses, loaded down with aviation fuel. A couple of gunshots from the VC would have sunk that thing, and that blew it sky high and blew everybody around that beach away from there also. And these poor kids in that Chief Pettios, bosun mate chief, was there for 3 days and 2 nights trying to get that thing out float. And they'd pull on it, and it'd snap. They'd bring it back in, flake it all out on the beach, flake it all out on the beach like a snake, put some truss wires on it, back out again, broke it again. What are they doing wrong? What are they doing wrong? I don't know where I was, in Mito. They had me on a horn anyway, Master Chief. I forget what it's code 1 or blue, whatever it was, on my radio for the heavy equipment crew. Get back to Da Nang now. So I'm still in service now. We're back to the fuel system.
Yeah, right.
And sorry about I missed that. And this was really something. So the Admiral plane's waiting on you. And sure enough, they had cranked it up and they shut it down. I finally got there, and Master Chief Carr said, "You got your bag?" I said, "Yeah, I got one suit of clothes. What's going on?" He said, "We got to get the Chu Line. They can't get the float system to that tanker that's out there." "What tanker?" And you'll see the tanker's loaded up. "Get out, get in the car, get in the Jeep." So I got in the Jeep, and off we went to the airport, and jumped on the Admiral's plane. Boom, we're gone. Into Chu Line. They was waiting for us, the Marines, everybody, escort us to the beach. And there's all this hose laid out, and this chief is scratching his head. He's going, shaking his head at me and Chief Carr, because we're going to get all the credit for launching it. You know, I felt sorry for the guy. He was so tired, he was out of his mind. Yeah. And so was his men. So I seen it right away. I said, no wonder they're breaking that car. They got 3 hoses, 50-foot of hose, stress wire, 350-foot of stress wires, I said, they 300 foot of stress wire. At least they're going out to that tanker.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough stress wires on there and Crosby clamps to hold it. In other words, you pull on a wire, you're not pulling on the hose. They
Right.
pulled on a wire for a little while, then they got to the hose and they pulled the hose apart.
Yeah, right.
So we put additional hose on there. I mean, we got a spool of cable in. Oh, we went to work. I'm on my knees, he's on his knees. Them kids are resting. I said, just keep flaking that hose out while we put the stress wires on here. And they did that. And the first pull, we're at the ship. The bullet was at the ship. There's a bullet on the end. It looks like a bullet on the end that they pull with. Got it to the ship, and I was worrying about that ship getting blown up. I really was. I thought, my God, if it went, we're gone.
Yeah, it's a pretty big target out there.
The Marines had 4 hours of flying time left of fuel. That's how critical it was.
Yeah.
And we're still fighting the war. So they said, can we stop pumping, stop pumping? They want to pump. No, you can't stop pumping. We got to air test it. Make sure there's no leaks, or you'll be pumping salt water to the Marines. So get the air compressor going, put her up to 120 pounds, fill the hose up. Naturally, it goes down, bring it back up. 3 or 4 times it'll equalize itself. Held it at 120 pounds pressure. And if it stayed at 120 pounds for 15 minutes,
You know, it was
you didn't
good.
have no leaks.
Yeah.
You can bleed it off. And the chief reached for the valve, and I smacked him. If he'd have opened that valve, all the rubber gaskets would have came out of the hoses where the couplings are.
Yeah, that'd have been a big mess.
Yeah, we gotta do it all over again.
Yeah.
And all new gaskets. I smacked him in his arm away from that thing. I said, don't do that. What's the matter? I said, you got to ease that air out of there. You pull all them gaskets out of the couplings. I mean,
Yeah.
and sure enough, he let me bleed it off. It took about 20 minutes to bleed it off. Then he called the ship, go ahead and start pumping. And you see, finally got to the setup they had on the beach where they receive fuel. See the gauges come up, this and that, the strainers and everything else. And big commendation for that, Secretary of Navy. And now we're going to get back to Da Nang.
Okay.
No aircraft. No aircraft. Finally, I sat in the Chiefs Club, popping a few. And Carl, you don't drink. You're holy roly. And he says, come on, man, see, we got it right. What do you mean? You got a C-130 for us. Oh, boom, to the air base, right?
Yeah.
Who was it? Carmen Miranda and her troop.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
to Da Nang for a show. The one with the golf balls in the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the troop. She said, bring them 2 guys on. She heard about us, what we were doing there. Carmen Miranda. And she let us get on her aircraft, the U.S. Air Force, right?
Yeah, right.
C-130. Was it Marines flying? No, it was the Air Force flying them around. And anyway, make the story short, on the way to Da Nang, she's raising heck with this one good-looking chick on there in her troop. I mean, she's cussing her. And I asked the one kid that plays in the band, I guess what it was, what's going on over there? What's going on? The girl got pregnant on the tour. That's what she was hollering about, believe it or not. Yeah.
Those
And,
things happen, you know.
Yeah, well, we got into Da Nang, and that was it. So, all right, now I'm retired, and of course, I'm working for DCI, Duluth Catholic International, as a bridge engineer. And inspecting bridges, checking on the work they're doing, et cetera, and whatnot. And inspecting bridges. And we was on a flight from Mito back to Da Nang when they had on a horn that my pilot, this Marine disc jockey, Warren also retired, I can't tell you his name. Crazy man. They're all crazy flying them choppers anyway over there. He says to me, he says, hey, bridge engineer, they want you up front, you look down and there ain't no vegetables coming to Da Nang. I think I can do with vegetables. They want you to check the certain bridge, see what the holdup is. Well, they had a good bypass bridge. We're building a new one.
Yeah.
And what happened was, the South Vietnamese were over there taking toll money from the vegetable drivers. Excuse me. And I couldn't believe it. And I says, well, they're taking toll money, that's why. Boom, 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 boom. They busted an oil line on a chopper. So, shut up, he hollered to me, the Marine. He turned away, and we flooded down into rice paddies out of the field of fire. Flooded down in there. He set it down. He said, I got an oil leak. And then he already told it, my backup coming in. Flop, 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 we can hear him. He come over the mountain, he came in. And we sat down, here my wife come running out, my future. come running out in the tulips.
She's going to join us in a minute.
All right, in the
All right.
rice paddies, and got us to our shack by our father. It was a Buddhist priest. And I said, oh, Jesus. Yeah, here come the second chopper, the backup came down, and one of the guys happened to be a mechanic, and he had some tools with him, some tubing, etc. So they'll get that going. So my pilot said he's going to stay and bring his craft out of there for me and to get that gallon of out of there because, hey, they'll start shooting him. But they couldn't see what we were doing.
Yeah.
And there was no motors coming in, and thank God of that, because they were sitting ducks there.
Yeah.
And anyway, make story short, I got her to Da Nang, and lo and behold, my room made her my housemaid. And when we evacuated, and well, I get to that, I had to take her with me. And on the evacuation, well, I can tell you a story about that now. Anyway, that's how I met her.
Yeah.
Now, I'm at another bridge. I'm back to Mito again.
She told me how you came out of the sky like a vision.
yeah.
Well,
She's a sweetheart.
Ed, we have a lovely lady joining us here. Would you like to introduce her?
Yes, that's my dear wife, Howie. Pulled me out of the tulips.
Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
Yes, he's Howie.
Yeah, and he came out of the sky for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good story.
That's a very long story.
Yeah. Anyway, she handed me this nice collage of Ed then and now. So we wanted to show this on there. Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
I know.
So I know you had something you'd like to say, so please do.
Yeah, I'd like to, let's not forget all them POWs, MIAs that are still out there. And pray for all those people in harm's way in Iraq, Afghanistan, the 38th Parallel, on the demilitarized zone in North and South Korea. We don't want to go back there and freeze our tootsies off. I hope and pray them commanders give us the right decisions on what they're going to do. And let's not forget, 25 years ago this month, the Space Shuttle Challenger, 1 minute into blast-off, blew in pieces, killing all 7 on board, plus Christina McNeffy would be the first school teacher into space. We lost them all 25 years ago this month. We pray for them.
Very well put.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Now, as I do at the end of every show, I want to thank you for coming. And I say it to all our viewers out there, to all our veterans and active military and their families. For all you do, we salute you. Till next time. Give us a call. Maybe we can get you on the show. We'd like to have some more people on the show. I'm very glad you came.
Thank you.
They should
Thank
come.
you.
They should come. This is a terrific show. And I invite people to watch it every day.
Thank you.
Let us know what you want us to present in our future programs. Please call Lakefront TV at 352-728-9707 with your programming ideas and suggestions.